2022. Let's please go around the room and introduce yourself for the record.
Stephanie Zinberg, representing the Police Commissioner.
Mike Cadet, Controller's Office, here by invitation.
Brad Lander, New York City Controller.
Allison Hirsch, representing New York City Controller.
John Dorsa, alternate designee for Control Lander. Joe Alejandro, New York City PBA. Thomas Gilmore, New York City PBA also.
Nicole Jambrisi, Police Pension Fund, present by invitation.
Anthony Verley, SBA.
Jeffrey Wood, DEA.
Chris Monahan, CEA.
Bob Senskestead, Pension Fund, present by invitation.
Kevin Holleran, Pension Fund, present by invitation.
Your name, present by invitation.
Okay. Mary Catherine Michael Skibler, present by invitation.
John Flynn, Police Pension Fund, present by invitation. Adam Del Valle, present by invitation. Vincent Diaz, Police Pension Fund, present by invitation.
Vaughn Duacosta with Axia, present by invitation.
Sorry, Andy.
Andy Vincent-Clara, Police Pension Fund, present by invitation.
Okay, representing the LBA.
Kevin Lou Charco's on the phone.
Okay, Commissioner of Finance. Mayor.
Cynthia Collins, designee for Mayor Eric Adams.
Okay, Phil, I think I see you on there also.
Yes, present.
Okay, Law Department.
Marta Ross, Law Department, present by invitation.
Okay, and with that, John, I will turn it over to you for your personnel. John Dorsa?
What's that?
Your personnel?
Oh, yes. So I'd like to note that we're joined today by Kate Visconti and Kim Boston here by invitation from the Controller's Office, as well as BAM staff that will be presenting today, including John Gluzak, who's the head of real estate, as well as other members of the team that will introduce themselves as they speak. And I believe I'd also just like to note Dan Haas is on, who is the interim head of risk. In case there are any risk questions, he's joining us as well.
I'm sorry, the boardroom is frozen. I can't see anybody there.
What's that, Yafa?
The boardroom, there's no screen for the boardroom.
So Yafa, we have two computers up. So only one New York City Police Pension Fund has video.
None of them have video. Is it just me, or I think no one could see them?
No, Kim just texted me that our video is frozen. But that they can hear us.
They can hear us.
We're definitely frozen because I'm doing it.
Yeah, Yafa, I see
more
one
than
of
half.
the screens. Oh, it just went dark again. Sorry.
And the tie that Chris Monahan's wearing tonight.
I got to change the
Okay.
to conduct an analysis. Using when sanctions.
Okay. Okay. Great.
That way everybody knows that, we're not going to wait a year.
Yeah.
When sanctions are removed, then.
Great.
We're good.
Yes.
I'm going to hold on to this for a second.
Oh, yeah. Good.
No more torture needed?
John, you're out for another week.
That's right.
And I told Joe that.
We're good, right?
Yeah, we got it.
He said BDS.
Right, yeah.
You literally just that's the only way the internet works. There's nothing else to do.
Okay, we're good.
Yafi, Kevin, I also just for the record, I noticed some of the consultants are also on, but they weren't mentioned on the roll call. I didn't know if you wanted to have them added for the record.
John had mentioned when they speak, they're going to be added to the record. John, do you want to introduce everybody?
And Chris McGrath also, I'm sorry. I don't know if he was on. Okay, good. I'm sorry.
So in that vein, does anyone, Lynn, I see you're on from Axia. Is anyone else on Axia? If you could identify yourself.
Dylan Herman from Axia is also on the line. Thank you.
And we'll just note Lynn O'Connell was also on the line from Axia. And from Wilshire, Rob, you're on. Is anybody else on from your team?
Yeah, Lou Ann Eisenhut's on as well. Good morning.
Okay, and I see Steve Burns is on. Steve, you and your team, if you could identify yourself.
Yes, Steve Burns from Townsend. I'm joined by Ishika Bansal, also from Townsend.
Okay, and I just want to note we're also joined by Chris McGrath, the attorney for the PBA, who is joining us
Yes,
today.
John, Chris McGrath, PBA by invitation on the line. Thank you.
Great, and just want to note Tom O'Hara is on from the Actuary's Office. So I believe that if other people are called upon, they will speak, but I think at this point we're ready to go, Kevin.
Okay.
So we have a very short public agenda. We have one item before us this morning, and I'd like to turn it over to the Controller of the City of New York to introduce the resolution.
Thank you very much to the police trustees, especially for working so quickly with us on this. Obviously, our eyes have been on the situation of Russia's invasion of Ukraine for the last week and just the monstrous actions that the Putin regime has been taking, which both have such a devastating impact on Ukrainian families, but also on the whole global system. You know, the idea that a country could invade another sovereign nation and not expect to face consequences is not how we can operate the planet. So it has been, while devastating to watch what was going on there, encouraging to watch global actors come together to take a serious response. I think it was unclear whether that would really happen, whether there would be a serious sanctions regime. And it's been encouraging to watch that happen and move quickly. So we thought it was important to be partners in doing that. So we quickly reached out on Sunday. Allison reached out to Joe and started talking to others of you to say, the meeting's coming up on Tuesday. Could we move quickly enough to have a resolution ready for Tuesday about divesting from our Russian holdings, is starting with and focusing on those that are propping up and enabling this hideous regime. And so here we are. I'm really encouraged by it. You know, I think two things I'll just point out. One, people might not have thought some short time ago that the first thing that we would do of this sort, that we thought about what is responsible investing, would be something that we all really clearly and unanimously saw eye to eye on, and also that so clearly shows an overlap between fiduciary duty and something like moral duty. Our Russian holdings are cratering in their values. It makes enormous sense from a fiduciary perspective. And we are joining a broader set of global actors, trying to make sure the world is a place that's safe for people and that you can live in, that you can invest in, that you cannot worry about your family in. So we were honored to come forward with this idea. We really appreciate the engaged and collaborative drafting. I know there was a lot of like, let's get this right, and I appreciate it. And we're still
not done yet.
And that's in good spirit too. So we appreciate the opportunity to present the resolution. We welcome amendments and changes and discussion, and hope that we'll all be able to work together. We didn't do the research to be sure, but I suspect that the police pension fund will be the first public pension fund in the United States to take this action and help build support and the drumbeat that we need.
No, and I appreciate that, Brad, and it is in the spirit of collaboration. It is in the spirit of unity with other Western nations, considering the attack on a sovereign nation that lives in democracy and freedom, and it is extraordinarily hard not to try to push back against despotism, against I hate to say, unfortunately they are suffering through some terrible war in their land. So I think it's important that we make a statement that freedom also allows us to enjoy a quality of life through a very robust economy, and this is a threat to that freedom, to that enjoyment of life, where we can pay for other things, whether it's healthcare, whether it's college, whether it's, you know, just putting food on the table for their families. And I think someone has threatened that. And I think it's clear that we need to do something, however little it may seem in the scheme of things. It's important that we make a statement and also for our beneficiaries to protect their assets. And I think it's clear this board has not accepted in a broad fashion divestment. I think there are many things we need to consider before even thinking about a divestment. And but this one is so obvious that it strikes the conscience to not do something. And with that, I just want to, we could look at it and we could introduce it. And I just want to make one modification, and we could do it that way if you want.
Right, Joe, this is Cindy. I'd like to make a statement that I've received from the mayor for the record. And, you know, this is directly a statement from Mayor Adams. He says, freedom cannot be denied here or anywhere. That's why I stand in support of efforts to divest the city's pension funds from Russian assets in light of the ongoing invasion of Ukraine, an unprovoked and unjustified war. This is not about penalizing the Russian people, but holding President Putin and his government accountable for violating the nation's sovereignty and inflicting widespread suffering on its people. Our administration is committed to standing with Ukrainians and refugees here and abroad while doing all we can to advance peace in collaboration with the community and our federal partners. Thank you.
Okay, anybody else? All right, so.
One thing, just keep in mind that, you know, we out in the public, and part of our job is to serve and protect. And New York City is the second largest Ukrainian population next to Ukraine. We owe them a responsibility to them as well.
Okay. So with that, I believe the resolution is on the table, and I would just like to make one modification to that, and that is, should I do it since it's going to be in public anyway?
So I can make the change in real time, and then this way when Kevin signs it,
that's fine, because it's only, right now it's on resolution number 5.
in the resolve?
Yeah, on the resolve.
Okay.
And it currently says, well, I'd like to make the following changes, and I'll tell you when. The board directs the Controller's Office, with the assistance of its general consultant, to conduct, and I'm going to remove annual to continual analysis. Remove commencing in 2023. And the rest will read the same, except at the end when I said, when I would add a new sentence. Such analysis shall continue until sanctions are lifted.
Lifted by whom?
By the United States. And I don't know if anybody has any problem with grammatically or anything.
I am reading that, I thought we were doing I'm fine with it, I just missed trying to understand it accurately.
Right.
Don't we want to analyze it immediately upon sanctions being removed so that we decide whether to reinvest or not?
Well, that's why I'm saying, and again, I look at everything as helpful, because I'm not saying I have the whole answer here. We're looking for the continual analysis, right? We need to understand that, you know, there may be such companies that we need to add to the list later on, right?
Yep.
All right, and not starting in 2023. I don't want it in 2023.
No, that I get.
Right. So it's a continual analysis of that market to determine if there are any companies that need to be added, but that such analysis continues until U.S. sanctions are lifted.
That's for addition to the
I see.
system
Okay.
excluded.
Got it.
So-
Okay, that's fine.
If I'm reading that, you know, if I'm saying something wrong, please hop in and.
No, I was just misunderstanding.
So to be clear, the Controller's Office made the motion, an edit was made, I'm accepting it as a friendly amendment?
That's the friendly amendment.
Okay, so I just want to make sure the record's fulfilled properly, right? That we have a friendly amendment to the resolution.
And And I think that will address that this is a continual operation to review the Russian market and make sure that we are not hurting our beneficiaries. And that will continue until such time as the United States feels they can be accepted back into the financial system. Is that okay? Okay. All right. So then I'd like to make a motion to accept the resolution to divest from Russian securities.
Okay, do we have a second?
I will second that motion as, from the mayor's office.
I think Mr. Landa had his.
That's okay. I'm fine with it.
Okay.
All in favor?
Good second.
Aye.
Any objections? Hearing none, so moved.
Okay. Thank you, everybody, and hopefully, and really, I know it's out of the normal procedure, but I'd like to take a moment to think about how these people are being attacked unnecessarily, and it's unfortunate that the world has to come together over such a matter at this point. But thank you.
Joe, could I ask a quick question? This is Lynn from Axia.
Sure.
Okay. Outside of your public equity fixed income portfolios, how should we be thinking about this? So, for example, in the hedge fund portfolio,
we're not going to address that now. That will be
Okay.
in executive session.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But Lynn, just so you know, this resolution will be public, and you can read it in its entirety and get a sense of where we're going with this right now.
Thank you.
So that concludes the public session, so I'd like to make a motion to exit the public session and enter executive session.
Second.
Executive session, the trustees heard from their consultants, BAM, and one real estate manager. A decision was made. That decision will be made public at the appropriate time.
So I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
Second.